Hey, welcome to Garden Fork Radio. Thanks for downloading the show. It's Eclectic DIY. Today, Rick and I are going to talk about plywood boats and TikTok and something else. Oh, recording with this new Adobe software. We're going to talk about those. So welcome. If this is your first time here. It's not like any other podcast. Except we both think we're funny.
And we have some good sense not to try to do the same show twice.
Right, so we're not going to talk about colonoscopies again. So real quick, I didn't realize this, but Adobe, I'm a Adobe Creative Suite subscriber. I pay a yearly fee to use Photoshop, Adobe Premiere. There's like 30 apps I mainly use Adobe Premiere for editing. And they have a beta version of a podcast app. So you're podcasting into the cloud, which is what we do with Squadcast. But they're kind of left hook in all this. And what they offer is they offer to basically, instead of you messing with all the settings to make your voices sound better, they will do it all for you. They're enhancing the voices and you get to pick different parameters, which I'm very interested in, but they're using AI for that, which I don't have a problem with. But yeah, they've been working on this for a while, evidently, and I didn't know it was out there until I read a little blurb about it. So Rick and I are trying it. It's a very minimalist interface, but it does transcriptions. It will enhance or fix or filter, like you have echo or a bad mic, or perhaps you're on the street on a cell phone. It does some pretty amazing stuff. And Rick is my tester, my beta tester with me.
Your guinea pig.
Well, that's I was trying to be nice.
Well, I don't mind being a guinea pig. I think they're kind of cute. So far, so good. We'll see how it goes. I wanted to launch into talk about something I discovered just recently about TikTok and by extension ByteDance, which is their parent company. It's in their terms of service. Somebody pointed this out on a podcast I was watching, and they actually put it up on the screen. And so I saw it on YouTube, so it has to be true. That TikTok says that they download all of your pictures, not just the ones you send them, all of your pictures. And it's in their terms of service. And the whole purpose of that is, so they say, they can better put your picture that you want up faster. So, they can speed behind the scenes processing. But right. in reality, they're just stealing your pictures. And given all the brouhaha about ByteDance, TikTok, and they're somewhat shady.
The government,
the government thing. Yeah, I just thought I'd point that out. It's not a particularly good look for them.
No, there are some other free editing platforms. One of them is called DaVinci, which some friends of mine use, and I might go check it out. It's kind of. I'm not looking forward to learning new software, but then I thought, well, it might be good for my brain to learn new stuff.
Yeah. And you leaped into that with kind of skipped the middle part. That a fairly popular video editing program called CapCut is also owned by ByteDance, and so I haven't looked at their terms of service. I actually use CapCut. I've been doing these little flying videos and stuff, and it's very easy to use, and it's not a lot of fun. Editing is not fun, but you kind of learn a system, and you're reluctant to switch away again. But I've thought about DaVinci myself.
You and I do very simple editing. I don't use probably 90% of Adobe Premiere. I click and drag. It's called click and drag kind of editing. It's very linear, my process, and probably yours as well. Then I like to throw in little winky wink, like what I would have the arrow come in, or there's a little doorbell that goes after I say something maybe kind of stupid, silly. It goes ding dong, just in case people are starting to fall asleep while I build a boat or something.
Yeah, that will never happen.
No.
Building a boat.
Well, that's happening right now. It's built. We're going to talk about that.
Okay.
But I mean, now I'm thinking, well, should I look at that? Because there's other photo editing programs. You don't need Premiere. You can use Pixelmator, and it works it actually is more intuitive than Photoshop, I think.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know it was a video editing program though.
Pixelmator's not. It's a Photoshop. It's a image editing program. But Premiere, for me to use Premiere and Photoshop is $700 a year.
Mm.
And now I'm wondering, but I'm intrigued by their podcast app, but I'm not good at all about fine tuning the audio of the podcast, and that frustrates me. Everyone else has this kind of booming podcast voice, and I'm like, and it's just you and I. It sounds like we're in a tin can. I mean, Nicole sounds great because she's great.
She's Nicole. Yeah,
she has her act together. But stuff to think about. Pixelmator and DaVinci. If you don't want to rent or buy software, check those out.
Yeah, and probably avoid the if you don't want your pictures. Now you can stop that at least on the Mac systems. Go into Photos or Privacy, and then Photos, and then find all the places that all the different programs that have access to your photos. And it seems like I just kind of routinely give every program that asks full access to my photos. You can narrow that down to just a few, or you can turn it off completely. That's what I've done with CapCut and I think I have TikTok on. I experimented with it. But I'm just a little leery of it, frankly. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm leery of it all. I barely use Facebook or Instagram anymore, but there's a group on YouTube, actually in Portugal, but they have a YouTube channel called Project Camp, Project and then KAMP, and they're trying to build a sustainable community, which is interesting to watch. And I yell back at the videos, especially when they use a chainsaw. But I wanted to see Portugal and Spain have fires in the late summer, and they had posted on their Discord that fires were nearby their property. And I thought on Instagram they might post something, and they haven't. But I noticed how TikTok-like Instagram has become, with like people wearing barely any clothes, doing dances and stuff, synchronized dances. And I'm like, I just don't want to see that. So I just don't use it. I just use email. And I have an email list if you guys want to sign up for it. Just go to gardenfork.tv. On any page, there'll be a sign up there. Or you can email me.
Talking about dancing, have you noticed on YouTube? Now, I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I watch more than I should, really. But it has become the how-to Bible for almost anything you're interested in doing. You can go there and people will show you at least one way, and usually 4 or 5 ways to do whatever it is you're trying to get done. And it's really helpful to see those, but you can't help but get drawn down those rabbit holes for other things. And one of them has been YouTube Shorts, which I think is supposed to be kind of a TikTok, competitor. Have you noticed that there's a dance craze going on? People filming themselves to doing one dance, part of a dance from the movie Chicago, or from the stage play Chicago. We Reached for the Gun. And I think there have been at least 100, 150 people doing that one little 15-second clip. It's actually interesting to watch. Some of them are very professional dancers. You could tell some of them are like me, can't dance a step, but they want to participate. And I thought that was kind of cool.
I do like that kind of group thing. Interesting side note, my most recent video I posted about fixing the gate on my sister's house, the yard gate, the fence gate. And then I made a little video short out of the same edit line, and I put that up, and the video maybe got 1,000 views, because that's the story of Garden Fork right now. And the short got 11,000 views.
Oh, really?
And you can, in the text of your short, you can put a link. You can put a link to your video, but when I watch the YouTube short on the app, at least on my iPad, there's no way to click through to watch the whole video.
Oh.
And if someone knows this, could you please let me know? It's radio@gardenfork.tv. It's a little frustrating because I started doing it because my friend Gabe at Save It for Parts, his channel is really blown up, and he posts little snippets of his longer videos, and the shorts get a ton of views, and his regular rectangular long play videos get a lot of views. And I'm like, oh, I should try that. But it wasn't really working for me. So I'll do it again. But
well, yeah, see what happens. Yeah, why things take off and how they take off and why some fail, I have no idea. And, you know, these little videos I'm doing, they're just for me and my friends and my flying buddies. And of course, the Garden Fork community, if they want to look at them. But it's my latest passion. And so I enjoy reliving the moment and you know, it's a fun thing for me to do, particularly when the weather has been just so terrible here in the last 4 or 5 days. So it's nice to have something to keep my mind busy.
yeah, and it's called Swamp Cat on YouTube.
It's Swamp Cat, yeah.
All one word.
All one word, Swamp Cat.
With a C or a K as for the cat.
With a C. Yeah.
All right. So,
the airplane itself is called a bush cat. And so because we're on the edge of the dismal swamp here, and it literally has wet feet sometimes from the swamp at the airport where I'm at, I just decided to call it Swamp Cat.
Cool. Hey, real quick, everyone. If you do any online shopping at Amazon, would you consider checking out the Garden Fork shopping page store thing directly on Amazon? It's our own page on Amazon with interesting stuff that I think might be useful. It's stuff that I have bought. If you just want to go to amazon.com/shop/gardenfork, that takes you to our page. And anything that you buy there, we do get a finder's fee for, and anything that you subsequently purchase during your shopping experience on the site, we get a finder's fee for. But that's amazon.com/shop/gardenfork. It's kind of the DIY gizmo stuff that I've bought and I like, and I have little comments about each product there as well. So let me know what you think. Amazon.com/shop/gardenfork. Thanks. Well, speaking of water, I have built a slightly improved version of the original Garden Fork Plywood Boat in my garage.
Nice segue.
And I'm making a series of videos about it. The first one, I finally found all the footage. We can talk about that later. But the first one will be out at the end of the week. And then the next one, we'll be talking about different methods for waterproofing the boat and waterproofing the joints, not using fiberglass and epoxy resins. I want to avoid that. I want to make it real family friendly, for lack of a better word. And it was just kind of fun to make the boat again. And what I realized is I'm seeing more and more on YouTube when you're using a circular saw, people are using a piece of metal that allows the saw to slide along it and do really straight cuts.
Oh, yeah. Those really long guides that you clamp down. Yeah.
I want to find one of those. I just have a skill saw, a red, $60 skill saw. And I'm hoping I can find a third party or aftermarket, I don't know what that's called, straight edge or glide thing. Because I built the boat and I just did chalk lines on a 4x8 plywood. I didn't use a 2x4 as a straight edge or anything. And not the straightest lines, and that kind of came back to bite me. So I want to look into some, if anyone knows anything about those or has one they like. Festool has amazing tools, and they have an amazing straight edge for their circular saw, but that's a little out of my range here. But yeah. I thought if you can do the clampy thing, clamp it onto a sled or something. I'd be interested in hearing about that.
Boy, you ought to check Harbor Freight or Northern Tools. That seems like a
dangerous place.
Yeah, it is.
There's one right near me.
Which one? Harbor Freight?
Yeah, there's Harbor Freight in Brooklyn. There's a Harbor Freight near our house in the woods too. So.
Ooh, yeah. But going ahead and spending a bit of money on this particular device, because everyone that I've seen use them just loves them. Um, you should check Haxman, Haxman. Uh, he does videos on YouTube, and he's got one that he likes a whole lot. He'll
Huh.
probably mention what it is, but you don't need to have a table saw. Really, this
Correct.
actually takes the place, so it saves you several $100s right there.
I have a Sears Craftsman table saw from, I think, probably 1965, and it has no safety devices on it at all. It has a cast iron tabletop, and I just want to give it away. I use it as a work table now, and I have a portable hand-me-down table saw that I clamp onto my Black & Decker Workmate
Right?
but I almost never need a table saw. And I think that between my chop saw that can do multiple angle cuts, compound miter saw they call it, I guess, and a skill saw on one of those slider gizmos, I think I'd be better off with that.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too. And you can do longer runs. I mean, are faster than because you just take it, move it, take it, cut it and move it, cut it and move it, cut it and move it. Could work out pretty good.
Yeah, well, I'll do that because I'm going to build a series of boats. So the first one is done. There's a method. There's a gentleman whose name I think it's Ted Simpson on the internet. He has a PDF, which I can link to here, about using the fiberglass it's called FIBA tape, FIBA tape, for taping drywall seams instead of using paper. It's the mesh that you can use.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And it's made out of fiberglass, and you use that with Tight Bond 3 waterproof glue, and you seal all your corners with that on your boat. And I had some problems. I had some challenges with it. I mean, it's the first time I've used it, and I tried a couple of different things. And now the fiber tape people have come out with an improved super strength tape, which I also tried, and that'll be in the second video. And then I had some aha moments just the other day thinking about ways to glue the boat together. So I'm going to try some other materials as well. And I want to do a series because I'm like, okay, here's your basic boat. Here, you can get this thing in the water with some silicone caulk and some latex paint. But if you want to do it step up, here you can use this fiber mesh tape to seal up the joints. And then I want to build a boat that isn't rectangular, one of the, like a rowboat or something that has curves because they go through the water better that way.
Right.
So I'm excited.
Well, that's very ambitious. I've seen people build, clinker style boats, that type of thing, and it's quite a process. Boy, you're going to need a lot of clamps. To bend the wood around the the gunnels and stuff.
To that point, it's in the first video. But if you have scrap 3 or 4 inch Schedule 40 PVC, you cut a slit down it horizontally, like if you were going to rip the pipe. Like if you're going to rip the pipe, instead of doing a cross cut, you cut the pipe from top to bottom. Yeah, with your circular saw, and then you put it in a chop saw and cut it into 1.5 inch circles, and you have a bunch of clamps.
Amazing! That is so brilliant. Did you think
I didn't invent that?
Oh, okay.
No. I watched a bunch of boat building videos, and clamps get expensive. And when you're trying to clamp a 12-inch piece of wood to something else, and they work really quite well. And I have tons of scrap PVC laying around from various French drains or plumbing drains or whatever. So if you see a piece of PVC pipe in the trash, grab it and you can make yourself some clamps.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. I have not gotten beyond Goodyear clamps right now, which is just an old length of inner tube, and you cut it one way if you need longer pieces, cut it across if you need smaller pieces. And most of my life is held together with Goodyear rubber tube now.
I won't go there. All right. Well, cool. So before we wrap it up here, I did want to put a little plug in for supporting Eric on Patreon. if you'd like to get the after show, which is what Rick and I are going to do right now. And we're going to talk about the renewed or refurbished string trimmer I just bought, and for a substantial savings. It's a cup of coffee a month. There's some information below about that. And coming up on the show is going to be Jesse Poteet. He has a business doing very successful silk screen business, and then he has created a course online called Startup Screen Printing, all one word, startupscreenprinting.com. And he walks you through it, how to take your business from struggling to scaling it up. It's really quite cool. So it's all about screen printing, local screen printing. And it's just a matter of us getting our schedules together and to try it out and see what happens.
Sounds fascinating. I might want to talk about inverse thinking. We'll talk about that if there's time in the after show.
Okay, I don't know what that is. So as long as
it was most recently popularized by Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's partner in Berkshire Hathaway. But the more I think about it, pun there, I guess, the more intuitive it really is. And I just thought I'd share that because I have nothing else to share today.
All right, everyone, let us know what you think. It's radio@gardenfork.tv. We're going to stop this recording and see what Adobe does with our voices here. It'll be interesting. Go out and make it a great day. Thank you.
Talk to you later, my friend. Bye-bye.
Garden Fork Radio is produced and copyrighted by Garden Fork Media, LLC in Brooklyn, New York. Our executive producer is Jimmy Goots of Cowboy Pools, located in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. If you need pool maintenance, call Jimmy Goots. The music in the show is licensed from audioblocks.com and uniquetracks.com.